in hip hop, there's always been machismo. It's always been about who's the most macho, who gets the most girls, who's spending the most money. It's always been a braggadocious sport. I mean, it doesn't take a million documentaries to tell you that hip hop started from, people playing in dozens, cracking jokes and stuff like that. So it's always been a braggadocious game. It's always been about status, all that. Even when it wasn't a corporate entity and it was just peace, love, unity, and having fun, it was still about status. Well, the game started changing over time. The trash talking got more lethal. Running your mouth the wrong way to the wrong cats started really, really getting cats handled. And as far as the Tupac situation goes, the first attempt on his life, November 30th, 1994. This is November 30th, 2022, so that was 28 years ago. And it's sad because what I'm about to say really still resonates today, and that's a terrible thing, and it's had terrible results. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The game changed after Tupac was robbed and shot in New York in November of 1994. After Tupac got shot, not only shot, but survived and had success. Now, it's almost a known, it's the whole industry feels like we have to duplicate that story somehow. You have to come in with the I don't give a F attitude. You can't run from beef. Have you been shot before? These things were almost like prerequisites at this point. When Tupac got shot and survived and was talking crap and all that and went to jail, came out, even bigger star and all that, at that point everybody felt like they had to be a gangster. You couldn't be no party yippee-yi-yay, Will Smith and Diddy party music and all these guys who was making party jams. Cause see, that was the thing at the time. 94, it was still about getting them out to the dance floor. It was still about getting them out to the dance floor. It was about the groove. But after that event, man, it got real gangster because they felt like that was a prerequisite. So dudes was just coming in, we after the 2-minute mark, letting their nuts hang. The reputations of these guys, it stopped being about how their skills were. I mean, you obviously got to have a little bit of skill, something to be in the game, or somebody can write everything, produce everything for you, teach you how to rhyme it, all that. There's still a lot of that out here, but for the most part, you still got to have some skill to be in the game. But even 28 years later, they're checking for gimmicks. Is he real? Has he been through these things he's talking about? What's his crew like? What's his neighborhood like? What's his background story? You had to be a gangster. You see it. You see it in guys like 50 Cent. He came after that. You seen it in guys like DMX. You've seen it in a lot of the guys in the South. A lot of the guys, a lot of the next generation of artists, they didn't take Pac's poetry side. They took Pac's gangster side. They took Pac's thug side. And again, all this stems back to him getting shot in New York and surviving and living to tell the story and making countless songs about it and things like that. It literally became a prerequisite, and even to this day, it seems like it's not about the skill and the ability to touch the fans and stuff like that, because all the fans want to know is if you even mention a gun or mention popping at somebody, you're dealing with the ops in your song, they gotta know, did you really do it, or are you just some little studio gangster now? And you have to ask yourself on a large scale, does that really matter? You know, these guys in these movies, Clint Eastwood and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these guys, they're not really out here killing people and knocking people out and stuff like that. You know, it's movies. It's dope movies and it's entertainment. But again, with hip hop, after that night, it wasn't about entertainment no more. And unfortunately, we lost two of our best rappers that night. Or we lost two of our best rappers because of the things that stemmed from November 30th, 1994. We lost Tupac in September of 96 in Vegas, age 25. And we lost Big E in Los Angeles, March 9th, 1997, at the age of 24. Both these brothers would just be reaching their 50s and be knee-deep in their businesses. When you look at the likes of Nasir, and you look at the likes of Jay-Z and 50, and all these guys who were in their late 40s, early 50s, who were rappers and becoming big-time business moguls and things like that, those guys would have been right there. And they would have been on top because they were ahead of all these people already back then. Moving even on, 25, 26 years after their deaths, rappers are dying. It seems like 2-3 times a week you're hearing about a rapper dying somewhere, whether it was in their own neighborhood or whether it was somewhere else, getting caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, the violence is at an all-time high. And I can't sit up and scream stop the violence, because I know it's always going to be real out here. You know, that's one thing you can hope for, that the violence stops and the hating stops. But I mean, sometimes I feel like that's just wishful thinking. All I'm saying is, a lot of you brothers out here, man, you know, hey, like they say in Houston, get your weight up instead of your hate up. You know, don't be out here hating on these rappers and stuff, dudes just trying to make a living and stuff, and to the rap game. If you really feel like, you know, to the people who have power, try to make it back towards, somewhere back towards it being about skill and being about entertainment and about the music. Because we're losing too many youngsters out here over nothing. It ain't worth it, man. You shouldn't feel like you gotta sell your soul and things like that and die just to put your talent out there. It shouldn't be like that. I ain't gonna go too far into a rant. You know, R.I.P. Tupac, R.I.P. Biggie. I'm a fan for life, but I don't feel like you gotta be a gangster to put this music out here and represent the community, and you ain't gotta be in nothing that can cut you off from being an asset to your family. It's Kid Samuel Media, baby.